to this video where we are going to learn about typography, and this is basically why some of us fell in love with Bootstrap from version 1, Bootstrap 2, all the way to now we are having Bootstrap 5, and a lot of things have improved. And the beauty about Bootstrap, which competes with others like Tailwind and etc., is the ability to just use a class and it applies all the rest. In a more advanced tutorial series, we are going to learn how to change those default Bootstrap classes to be what we like or what our client wants us to use. But in this video, I'm not going to delve much into it. I'm just going to pass through the default Bootstrap classes as they are offered. So we are going to create another file here. Let me use this, click on that, and this is the second video of this Bootstrap classes, and the one we are going to use typography classes. I hope that is okay. And I'm going to use the template, copy the template, and just paste it and close the other ones. Okay, this is a good start, and I'm going to change this from containers to typography classes. Okay, like the containers, I'm going to ensure there is a heading which just says what we are actually doing, which is typography. And it's not doing much apart from if we go to the browser. Actually, let me stop this live server and go live again and see typography. Okay, so what is typography? Typography is basically how we handle our text in Bootstrap 5, and I'm going to give us the normal heading text. So I'm going to use heading 1 to heading 6. So using Emmet, I'm just doing heading 1 times 6, and then we are going to change this. So option. So actually, let me just do this quickly because I want to type it out. This is heading 1. I want to give you the feel of what it means to actually be a coder. Heading 2. It's not smooth like what we see in the movies, but actually satisfying depending on the product that you actually create on the end or at the end. So don't be surprised with what I'm doing. I'm just basically using Emmet extension, which allows me to change things. This is heading 4. Sorry about that. It allows me to change different things from different locations at the same time, which is just improving my working speed, and it's available to you when you use Visual Studio Code. So if I go back to the browser, this is the default display of heading 1 to heading 6 in Bootstrap 5. Now let's head into the heading classes. That is actually heading 4. So let's say, so I want, actually, just to show you how it's easy to use Emmet, we can use Bootstrap classes. So I want heading 4 with the class of margin top of 3. Actually, margin Y of 3. That's it, and we say heading classes in Bootstrap. I'm going to copy and paste this for many places. That's it. Let's do success just like the predecessor. Yeah, so every time you see that green text, we know it is a heading or a section. So I'm going to use this. No, actually, to explain this, a heading class in Bootstrap can be applied to any element, be it a div, be it a paragraph, or whatever it is, and it actually mimics this type of CSS font styling. To give you an example, I'm going to use div. That's and I'm going to say this is heading 1. Actually, just copy this, right? put it there, and that to so if I save this and go to the browser, it looks like normal text. If I put now a class of heading 1 from Bootstrap, watch what happens if I save. See, it's just same as heading 1, but it's actually not a heading, it's a div element. So if you want to apply such type of classes to divs or any other HTML classes, elements, you can always apply it. So I'm going to copy this to show you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in that I'm going to do the same thing. So this is heading 2, then heading 3. This is the beauty of Emmet. Heading 4, and also the beauty of using Visual Studio. Heading 5, and lastly heading 6. Save. You can see all the heading classes have been applied. Situations exist also where you will need to give a large display of the heading text, and that's where we are able to explore what the display classes are. And this happens when, let's say, you have a hero element here or a large display or a photo or anything, and you just want a big type of text at the center here. Bootstrap offers us a very nice way of doing it, and I'm going to copy this. Actually, yes, let me copy this. I don't want H1, so display classes, and it's actually applied to headings most of the time, but it's not a must you apply it to a heading, but it's just standard practice for it to apply it there. So to do that, I'm going to take all the way to heading 6 because it's the same class that is being applied all through. To show you, it's the class of display, and then you choose, is it 1? This is also another thing. Look at this, Emmet. I can actually highlight all that, copy it, and go all the way back and paste it. Look at that, then save. Then I can actually come here and say I want to change this from heading 1 to display. You see, and so this is how the display classes look. So it's basically just large pieces of text, and I don't like how they are clinched to the left there. It's because we are not using our Bootstrap classes, so I'll just highlight everything here and put it in a container class, because we have already learned about container classes. If I save, this is it. It gives us some margin and centers the text. Okay, so those are display headings and how to use it. Next we are going to learn about the lead class. We put some end of text or end of coding here. I don't want anyone to go there. Next I'm going to teach about the Bootstrap lead class, and it's a class, it's not classes. So the lead class is basically a highlight of your HTML text. Let me put a paragraph here and do lorem. I already showed you how to do this. You just type lorem and tab and you'll be fine. Okay, if we go to the browser, this is how it looks. Okay, the lead class in HTML5. You see, this is how it looks. Watch how it actually gives it a little show off or a little highlight if I put the lead class. Voila, it becomes a little bit larger. So this is how you highlight, let's say, a first paragraph of a text. If I add here another paragraph, let me copy this. Copy and paste is the best thing that happened to developers. You see, it highlights the the paragraph that we put lead text and leaves the rest. So let's say in an article or something of that sort, you can just put this to highlight a paragraph. But do not try and apply that to a quote. Bootstrap has what we can use for quotes and block quotes. That's what they're called in programming. So let me just use block quote class in Bootstrap. So to use that, I'm just going to use the block quote HTML element. So block quote HTML element, and inside it you can use the paragraph, and we say to stop. Let me actually, the day you stop learning is the day you die. And who said it? Monsieur Ghost. Okay, if I save this and we go back, you see it just looks like normal text. But if we actually apply the Bootstrap class of block quote, yeah, it actually makes it look like some good text. Yeah, if we try and put this in, let's say, another piece of text, let me see, Lorem, see, and let's say I just put it there. See how it looks. See, yeah, so that's how it's going to highlight your block quote text. So that's the Bootstrap class of block quote and how to handle quotes. The next one is we are going to learn about font weights. That's how bold or italic or something of that sort, like how you're going to format your text. Remember, we are in the typography class of the video. And let me just copy this and try do faster here. So if this tutorial is too fast for you, you can slow down the video using the YouTube or the video player icon, the settings icon there. Or if it's too slow, you can also make it fast. So in this, we're going to speak about font weight. Classes in Bootstrap. The first one, and I'm going to use paragraph elements, is the bold class. So this is bold text, class of FW, bold. It looks like that, becomes bold text if you see down there in the browser. Next to that is, I'm going to do, let me copy this and just next is, if I want to make it bolder, it's going to use what the relative parent is. It's going to be the same because the parent item is not too much of bold. That's why. Let me add here relative to parent. Okay. Then the next one is normal text or normal weight. So that's going to be font weight normal. FW stands for font weight. Then, and that's how it looks. Next to that is light. If I want to make light font weight, and I'm changing the text so that you're able to see the difference. So this is light text, and I can actually make it lighter. Watch this. Lighter. And I actually brag here saying this is lighter text. If I save, can see the font weight is way lighter. Next is if you want to make a font italic. So that falls under font styling. It's not font weight. Then this is italic text. Boom. you get the italic text. If I want to have normal, that's font styling that is normal, not much of a change between the normal or default Bootstrap, but sometimes it's just good to put it in. This is normal text, you see, and if you look at the rest, it's just the same. Okay, so that's it for font weight, and most of the cases where you will need to go to your CSS file and then just change the classes to actually get such type of formatting, but Bootstrap actually lessens the job, and you just apply a class and that's it. It will be unfortunate if we don't pass through the line heights in Bootstrap, and if you don't understand what line heights are, let me just show you. Okay, so let's say we have a paragraph here, a default paragraph with some lorem ipsum text, and I'm going to lessen the size of our browser so that we actually understand what it means with this paragraph line height. So it's basically, if I go to the medium, nice, so it shows different lines here. So to understand line height, it's the space between these two sentences, the way the paragraph have been broken. The sentences in the paragraph have been broken down. So you can see this is the default spacing, but watch what happens if I had a class of line height 1, which is one of the classes. It lessens the spaces, as you can see. Okay, then the second class in line height is LHSM, which is literally like a small line height. You can see it puts in some small line height as compared to LH1, which is way different from LH base. I think I'm still copied. If I put, this is the base spacing, a bit bigger than the small one, but the base one. If we did a normal paragraph here, just to start with, I'm going to a normal one without any class. You'll see probably it has the same spacing as an LH base. See, yeah, same spacing as LH base. Okay, we have also another class which is LH big, which is the LG, biggest space, and that's how it looks. So that's how you're able to increase or decrease. If I maintained the other size of the screen, it didn't really matter, because it will just flow like that and you'll not see the difference in it. I'm going to stop my server because it's now doing some games. This happens, go live. Okay, going to close this one, and yes, we are still in the same. Next, we are going to learn about text transform, and there's the beauty about Bootstrap, because it's given us different classes for different types of typography issues. So on text classes, this is where we are able to shift items from being uppercase to lowercase and etc. So text transform classes, paragraph. Actually, let's just have 3 paragraphs to quicken this. So sorry, this is lowercase text, of course. Actually, just to save time, and then here we are going to say this is uppercase text. No, if I look at this in the browser, you can see it down here. This is lower text. This is how it looks by default. But if you apply the Bootstrap classes, I'll start with the capitalize. So it's text, capitalize, and you realize every first letter of a word in the sentence is capitalized. If I want to make this lowercase, just text lowercase. Yes. And we become lowercase. Initially it was uppercase. If I want to make this one uppercase, yes, you guessed it right. It's text hyphen uppercase. And all the text will become uppercase. Now that we've learned about text transformation, let's learn about how to align text in Bootstrap 5. Wanted to copy that and say text alignment. I hope I've spelled it right. So I'm going to have 3 of them. P times 3. And the way to do it is, let's say, aligned to the left, aligned center, aligned to the right. If I want this to be aligned always to the left, then I just apply a class of text, then start. Think of it this way. Your browser, left aligned is at the start here, center is just center, and right aligned is at the end. So Bootstrap actually puts it in context like that. So class, if you want to center it, is text hyphen center. If you want to align it to the right, is class text hyphen end, as we saw. So left is start, right is end. Save it, and you can see. So no matter the size of our browser or our device, be it phone or whatever, it will always be aligned like that. You see, left, center, right. But let me show you if you now want to have context in terms of the breakpoints. We are going to see what's going to happen. So if I copy this, actually, so if I want to use this as, let's say, center, let me actually just delete all this. It doesn't hurt us to do this from the start. So I want to show you what happens if some text is aligned to the center based on breakpoints. So to put in the breakpoint item is like text sm center. So I want that one to be aligned to the center, centered at small. Okay, so I want to go with all the breakpoints that exist in Bootstrap. One, so this is after small is empty, which stands for medium. Then after medium is LG, which stands for large. Then extra large, extra large. I think that's enough. If I save this, see, all of them are centered because now we are at extra large screen point. Go on that. But watch what happens at small, centered at small because of that. So it is centered as small. I don't know what something is happening here. Let me, so in case something is happening without you knowing what's happening, just stop your server and go live again. Okay, I'll close the first one. If I go to inspect element now, yes, centered at small. If I continue going up to medium, just give it a second. You see, the small one, since we were in the small, is centered. Let me just stop this server and go live again. Okay, and this one as well. So if we hit the medium point, you see the medium one is now centered because we are at the medium one, and if we hit the large one is now centered. But at the medium point, it was not centered, as you can see. So I hit the large one, centers at the large. If I hit extra large, you can see becomes also centered. So this is how you define where your text will be centered, and Bootstrap is actually very useful in such instances because it gives us different context classes and breakpoints. So that's it for typography, and I hope you've been able to pass through each of them. Remember, through exercises what you'll be able to learn all this. No need to cram, but there is need for you to use it again and again until it becomes cemented into your usual coding style. See you in the next tutorial where we're going to learn about display and positions. See you then. Bye bye.